Okay, so it is November 2019, and it has been a crazy year, starting from October 2018. October 2018, I made 2 years of full-time employment at RPI in upstate New York, and I was ready for a change. I was ready to move back down south. And I just needed to center myself again, get back to the things that I enjoyed, be around the people that I loved on a more frequent basis, and just like change the trajectory of my life. So I put in my 2 weeks notice and I quit my job. I didn't have anything lined up. I just was like, it's time. So by the end of October 2018, one of my friends flew up to New York and helped me drive back down south, and so began a new journey. I had asked my stepmom, can I stay with her for 3 months? That was November, December, January. November and December, I was working 2 part-time jobs. So in mornings, I will be working at a speech therapy clinic as a receptionist or office manager. And in the evenings and on weekends, I was working at DSW. Cool. But I was like, this not my end. It's just what's going to help me get over. January, ended up moving to Alabama, and I took a hall director job. It was a very impactful experience. I was only there 30 days. Let me tell you why. I am very beyond housing residence life. Not above, I'm just beyond it. Like, the live on thing is just not me anymore. I struggle with live on fresh out of grad school, starting my career. So going back to the live on position, I made an amazing impact in a lot of students' lives, and I built some wonderful connections with students, but I was tired. So by February, I was unemployed again. And I decided I'm going to just wait. I started applying for jobs. This time I moved home to Valdosta, Georgia, and I stayed with my aunt. And I was like, I'm going to stay down here and just get my life together so that I can make my next move my best move. So February and March, I was unemployed. April, I got a new job. But before I started my new job, I took a trip to Paris with my best friend. So here I am, unemployed, but I've taken this phenomenal trip to Paris for like a week. Great experience. And then when I came back from Paris, that's when I started the new job. So April and May and part of June, I was working at Valdosta State. Full-time job, no benefits. Met some great women that I worked with in the call center for financial aid. And I knew that too wasn't my end-all be-all. It was only a temporary position. But in the midst of that, I had my first adult relationship. So that added to the amazing stressors of life. Just kind of trying to take a journey with somebody, see if you're compatible with them, see if they're going to be your happily ever after, or what. Like, what lessons are you going to learn in this relationship? So the relationship ended around May. June, I took a new job in Chattanooga. So since June 2019, I've been here in Chattanooga, and it's been a wonderful experience. I'm back in graduate admissions, evaluating what the trajectory is. What's next? Is it I bump up to director in the near future? Is it I actually, in the 1 week time span, met 3 different people telling me opportunities that they see can happen for me. And it was so empowering because they were keying in on things that I'm really talented in. I'm very big on watching TED Talks and just really like, not so much motivational speeches, but things that teach you about thinking and like how to navigate life and just the wonders of the world. So I met a guy who told me, I said, I'm only going to give higher education 10 years. I'm in year 6 right now, because I want to make money. Like, I want to make a bag. And I don't want to have to go get a doctorate to do that. So after 10 years, I feel like I will have been a servant leader, made an impact in a lot of people's lives. Then it's my chance to make an impact in my life financially. Secure the bag. So I meet this guy, and he's telling me, like, what are you talking about? There's money to be made in your field. And so he break it down to me, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I never thought about it that way. Sometimes it takes people to inform you of things that you just never had your eyes open to. So that dynamic conversation truly blessed me. Next thing you know, I see some positions that's like, oh, that might be for you. We don't know yet. Then I end up doing a presentation for some students. Some students from South Carolina were brought down to UTC, and by the end of my presentation, their advisor says, he stands up and says, in all 20 years that I've taken students across the country to visit different colleges, this is the best presentation I've ever sat through. And that meant a lot to me because I love presenting. I love communicating information to a target audience, understanding how I want them to receive it and how I want them to utilize that information. So that was very, very dynamic, and it just really touched me to have a clear understanding that, like, they got it and they enjoyed it. Then I ended up meeting a consultant, and he was telling me about some opportunities that I can turn my skills and talents into the bag that I'm hoping to secure by doing some consulting in higher education, which is definitely one of the things that I know I want to do. Whether I travel on behalf of myself, starting my own consulting company, or I freelance, or I get with a consulting company. But I do believe that I want to do higher education consulting one day. So all 3 different, dynamic conversations that impacted me in various ways. Had an opportunity to sit on a panel at a conference, and I vividly watched people who were not paying attention or not giving their undivided attention to the presenters before me put their phones down to give me their undivided attention. And at the end of one presentation, a lady asked, how did you learn your public speaking skills? Is it a natural talent or is it a learned talent? And out of nowhere, I had this eloquent response. I'm a talker. So I can naturally talk to anybody about a lot of things. But it is a learned talent on how to present information to people in a way that they will be able to consume it. So understanding the narrative, understanding voice influx, understanding just how to be engaging in an interpersonal communication opportunity. That part is a learned experience because I have a Bachelor's of Fine Arts with an emphasis in public relations for undergrad. So it's like I'm slowly learning what I'm good at and not just what I like. I'm very big on understanding what I like, but I'm also still learning what I'm good at. And so I'm creating some goals for myself because I always believe that anything is possible. I can do everything. I can do all through Christ who strengthens me. But more importantly, because I'm not afraid of things. Like, I'm not afraid of rejection. And I thrive off of knowing that there's a possibility that my wants can happen. So I am excited. One day I want to do a TED Talk. I want to get paid to do a speaking engagement one day. Again, I've already said I want to do consulting for higher education. I want to be, at first I thought my goal in higher ed was to be a dean of students. And then I changed that. It's not just to be a dean of students, because dean of students tend to deal with conduct. I don't like conduct. So I started to see vice president. And so the opportunity to do like VP of enrollment, be over a division, and just really impact a lot of people. I think that's the new goal for higher education, to get up to VP, vice chancellor type role over an enrollment division. Because when it comes to professional development, I can invest in my staff, my team, the same way how I invest in me. And I'm a very big proponent for professional development, understanding, helping everybody understand their goals, how to reach those goals, what skills are necessary to get them to the next level. So super excited. I have no idea what 2020 is going to bring. I'm getting ready to do a 2020 vision board. At one point, I wanted an MBA. I've finally been accepted into an executive MBA program, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because the ticket price is high. And I was told unless that executive MBA can get me a return on investment of double the cost, meaning I have to be able to make $150,000 minimum after completing that program, it's just not worth, the investment. And I don't know anybody who can guarantee that. Like, unless they have, businesses or people just ready to say, your first cohort, once they graduate, we're going to put them in these C-suite positions. Nobody can guarantee me a $150,000 job or higher. So, don't really think I'm going to be able to take the opportunity for the executive MBA, but I'm not ruling it out just yet. But 2019 has just been super eventful for me, like super eventful. And I could never predict in what direction things were going to take me. I could never, it just happened. I went with the flow of everything. And I will say this was one year that I truly had to learn what go with the flow meant, because I am such a planner. Like, I am the queen of planning my life. Usually by like September, I'm thinking about the next year. And so one thing I had to learn this year that God kept telling me, it's okay to start thinking about 2020, but I'm not done with 2019. And so I continue to get that reality check. I mean, I've got friends who got engaged this year. Just so much. Friends who've gotten promotions. So much has happened in 2019 that I just continue to be reminded that, like, God is not done with 2019, and I can start thinking about 2020, but don't stop living in 2019, because there's so much more that can happen this year. But it is just so crazy to look at my year in review from October 2018 to November 2019. Like, so much has happened. Leaving New York, moving to Atlanta, moving to Alabama, moving to Valdosta, going to Paris, moving to Chattanooga. It's just unpredictable. Trying a relationship, it was a really interesting experience. I definitely learned a lot from that experience. I don't know if I want to speak life into another relationship right now, because that was a lot. It was a lot. Good person, but not the best person for me. And so I don't know how I want to speak life into a significant other, but I do know that I'm very ambitious. I love knowing that I can get up and go whenever I want to, and just have the freedom to make choices that impact me and have no regrets. So trying to maintain a relationship while having that lifestyle, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I am very excited. I feel like the rest of 2019 is going to be epic. And then, who knows? I can't predict 2020 at all. I will say a few things that I have lined up. I am participating in my first chili competition in December 7th to be exact. Very excited about that, because I'm really trying to get LB's Chili Bar off the ground. an official launch. Like, I want to get catering gigs. I want people to be at home on their couch. Like, I could really go for some chili today. Let me hit up LB's Chili Bar. And they just hit me up and be like, hey, can I place an order for some chili? And I'm like, all right, bet, give me an hour. You can come pick up in an hour. And I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want LB's Chili Bar to launch this year. Like, I know the opportunities are there and it can launch this year. Trying to get these resumes in and, you know, really get some traction on my resume business still. I do resumes and cover letters, and I've helped people with job searches. Also looking at, in January I started teaching an online class. That's going to be exciting. We're going to be talking about Black Wall Street, the 1920s Black Wall Street, and then the recreation of the current Black Wall Street that people are slowly but surely rebuilding, and just Black entrepreneurship and Black independence and Black economics. So I am super, super, super excited about, like, understanding that 2019 is not over. And, oh God, this is my exit. Okay. Keep left towards 27. 2019 isn't over, and 2020 is going to be jam-packed with opportunities. Like, who knows? Maybe love is in the midst. I don't know. But like I said, I'm not speaking that into existence because I got to want it in order for it to be successful. But I do want to secure a really nice bag. Whether that be through a raise, whether that be through speaking engagements, whether that be somebody saying, come be our vice president. We see what you got. We want what you got, sis. Come through. So, who knows? I mean, I would have never been able to predict that in 1 year I would have lived in 6 different spots. Like, that is crazy. But it is also a testimony to the amazing support system that I have for people to allow me to come and stay with them for months at a time. And I mean, I really have an amazing support system, from family to my epic friends. I will say I have built so many additional memories this year. And that's one of the biggest things I love about my life. It is so filled with building and creating memories with my loved ones that, I mean, my cup is rarely ever half empty. I'm going to say it like that. Every day is not sunshine and rainbows, but my cup is rarely ever half empty. More than anything, my cup runneth over. But there are days where my cup is half full. I'd rather think my cup is half full than half empty, because the majority of the time my cup is runneth over by the amazing moments I get a chance to create with all my dope friends and family members. Like, I went to Paris this year, and next year I'm going to Jamaica. Like, I missed every trip in college because I was broke. I was the epitome of broke in college. I missed every trip. Besides a couple of road trips that I just kind of randomly did, Miami and all these other places people were going in college, I missed those trips because I had to work, or I just truly didn't have the money. And now, like, I've been to Vegas, LA, DC, Philly. I did some work travels while I was in New York. I've had a chance to go to Miami, and so I've made up for all the trips that I missed, 2 times fold, and I'm just so happy. Like, I wouldn't change a thing, even though a couple of months in 2019 was just really hard financially. In between in and out of jobs and just no consistent stability, it was hard. I won't flex on that. Again, I don't want to change anything that happened, but there were some times where it was just hard. But I was very persistent And I kept pushing, and I always stayed motivated, and I always had encouraging people around me. And I knew that trouble don't last always. But more importantly, like, I'm just a go-getter. And because I'm such a go-getter, I always knew that things was going to work out the way how they needed to work out. So it was dope. 2019 was dope. 2018 was tumultuous. Like, I don't even know if I said that word right, but 2018 had some hard parts. Now, I did have some good trips. Like, I went to Niagara Falls in 2018. I had some good trips, but 2018 was hard. It was emotionally hard. And 2019 has just been an epic array of excitement and change. That is the key word that most people cannot take. Change. And the amount of changes that I've had in these last 12 months is, some people would have had a nervous breakdown, and it has just been exhilarating for me. And I'm just excited to see like what the end of 2019 has, and then what am I going to walk into for 2020.